So that's where I just was doing the video on showering while you're homeless. These are the dorms that have that beautiful view right here. You see how beautifully manicured the lawn and everything is. You know, I'm not saying this to put a huge gap between me and anybody else, or homeless people and the rest of the world, us versus them, because there's a lot of wonderful people who are very kind to others regardless of their economic status. But I just wanted to point out something that's a possibility, because it's human nature sometimes. You know, most of these students here, it would be easy to gauge, and it would be easy to say that most of them don't pay for these dorms. They don't pay for their own rent, okay? But it's definitely a pretty penny. We're a hop and a skip and a jump from Marina Del Rey. I mean, this is prime real estate, prime campus, prime view. You know, when you do grow up like that, when you have all these amenities essentially given to you, right? Because you were born in the right place at the right time with perhaps the right people, let's say, at least in an economic sense. So you're afforded an opportunity that a good majority of other people don't necessarily have. And you live that life, and you soak it up, and you absorb it. And just as anybody else would. I mean, it's your life, and it's all you know. It's all you know. Your social activities, your nightlife, your education, your living, your roommates, your friends, everything. It's all you know. And it's easy to come to the conclusion when you live that way, let's say for 25 or 30 years, and then you enter in a real way into the work world, and you're already up the ladder a number of rungs, not just financially, but mentally and emotionally and socially, you're networking and everything. It's easy to assume that you got there just because of who you are as an individual. Somehow you worked in a smarter way than everybody else. You got there because of your own volition. And that life, the way you see it and the way you've experienced it, is the actual reality. That's the real life. And everybody can just do that, you know? And you have all the answers. And I'm not saying that you don't have some of the answers. I could never say anybody has all. But to not take into account that you really did nothing to get there in the beginning, you know, and it was paid for, at least up to a certain point. It was paid for, not by you. And it's just easy to get in that bubble, and then to think that that's life, that that's actually life, that that's actually reality, and that you have every answer. And not just the answer, but you know exactly how to do it and how everybody else can do it. And assuming that everybody else has everything that you do. And again, I am not just talking financially, because that's only a very small piece of this puzzle that helps us elevate and progress up a ladder. The emotional aspect of our lives, the educational aspect of our lives, the opportunities, the ability to seize on those opportunities, what kind of personality and character you have, what you're willing to do, how you're willing to discipline yourself, all of those things. And when an opportunity is given to you, I really truly am not saying that you should not take this opportunity and that you should feel guilty for taking the opportunity. Certainly not. That's not the point at all. It's not about not taking the opportunity or feeling guilty about it, that you had it and somebody else didn't. But it is about educating yourself in a different way. It is about getting outside of your bubble, humbling yourself, and recognizing the world around you and your piece in that puzzle, both the piece that was given to you and you were blessed with, and the piece that you now have in order to bless and help other people through that humility, through that desire to understand somebody else's life and the way they lived, the way they grew up, and what they had offered to them, and what they did with it. And we can persevere. Again, the point is not that we can't, and that somebody on an economically lower status cannot overcome, because we see that every day. That's obvious. But the point is just recognizing the gifts that we're given, the gifts that we're given, not through any volition of our own, not through any doing of our own. Everything we walk on, sit on, taste, touch, use, see, was often done by the hand of someone other than yourself, by your ancestors, by your community, by your friends, by your family, by the world at large, and you're blessed by it. And you do have a responsibility with that blessing. The greater the blessing, the greater in return of service. You know? So just step back and recognize the reality, everyone's reality, and do something about it.